This is my first time even being at a story slam, and I think I was inspired by the other people that was talking. I have a story that has two stories of good intentions. It starts off where there's. Sorry, I'm a little bit nervous. My family consists of four brothers and a sister, okay? We're all different personalities. So my older brother was a senior at the time. I was a freshman. And he was dating this really pretty girl, and he's sort of like a bad boy, you know, just one of the guys like girls like to date, okay? So here it was, he had promised the girl to take her to homecoming. She was a senior, and it was getting it was within a month of it was homecoming, and it was within a month, and he breaks up with her. So for the next week and a half, she calls my mom, wanting just crying because of being broken up before homecoming and everything. So the first story of good intentions is my mom. I was a little bit taller. I was a freshman, but my mom said, "Why don't you take her to the homecoming?" And I was like, "Okay, well, I don't know anything about homecoming. Don't even know, I don't drive or anything like that." So, but she volunteered me to go. So I'm like, "Okay, well, I'm going to step in for my brother. He's sort of screwed up. Why not just try to put the pieces back together?" So this is a month before the homecoming is supposed to happen. So in that time frame, I tell my friends at school, and they're like, "Well, good, you get to take a senior to homecoming." And here I was a freshman, so I was like, "Well, I guess it's pretty good." They were encouraging me to be a little bit more bold about, the decision that my mom made for me. And I'm like, "Okay, well, cool. I get to hang out with, some older kids. I get to go to, a homecoming." During the course of that month, we find out that she gets nominated for homecoming court. And I'm like, "Oh, great." Like now, just like tonight, being nervous, I had to take her, and walk up for the homecoming court part of it, right? And but within that month's time, she started to date somebody, okay? So the story gets a little more odd as it goes on. Being a freshman, I had just gotten my first job. I was saving up for a car. Here I can't take the girl to her prom. She's starting to date somebody, and it's a school that's not mine. So I have to go the whole way across the county. She has to drive. My mom tells me I have to rent a tuxedo, and I have to get a corsage. And this is the money I was planning on spending for a car. So I was totally not feeling this situation, but the good intentions was you follow through, you're picking up the pieces for your brother. We fast forward to the homecoming night. She picks me up, give her the corsage. I already rented the tux. She tells me, well, her and Kyle are getting pretty close. She said that she and him are probably going to spend most of the night, hanging out together. And I'm like, okay, great. I didn't want to be there in the first place, but she's going to bail on me. So I'm at a school I don't even know anybody. So I decide, well, this can't get any worse. And it starts to. And so I don't want to use anybody's names, just in case there's relatives in the room for her, him, or anybody else involved in it is York. So there was a party there was like a pre-party to the thing, and she wants to go there, and she starts spending so much time with, we'll say the gentleman, because I don't want to use his name neither. Well, his friends start to pick on me because I'm with his girlfriend, okay? So I'm at a party in the country where we went down a dirt road and everything, and the situation is like, Mom, I know you had good intentions. I know my brother screwed up. What am I really doing in this situation? So we decide to, the pre-party's over. It's getting close to the time to go to the homecoming. And I'm like, okay, well, are you... the story would be a lot easier if I can use her name, just and his name. Just, so we're heading to the homecoming, and she's talking about... I'm like, do I at least get to dance with you or anything? She says, well, his name's Kyle, because you won't be able to put the story together. It makes it a lot easier for how the story ends. She lets me know she's going to bail on me at homecoming. So I'm like, well, good. I don't have to walk her up for the homecoming court. Not a big deal. I'm not stressing that part. And I'm like, well, maybe I'll meet people. I'm social, whatever. Well, everybody knows that Kyle was probably taking a date to the homecoming, okay? I won't mention her name just because it is York County. And so we get there, and it's sort of funny because I'm left by myself. She's sort of left by herself. Well, at some point, I happen to be standing directly beside Kyle's date. And we're talking this, that, and the other. And it's time for them to line up to go for homecoming. And I'm like, yep, I'm supposed to be taking Melinda. And I said, well, I'm supposed to be with Kyle. And she says, well, that's fine. I'm Kyle's date. And that's when I started to know that. And she says, well, I'm also nominated for homecoming court. So I'm like, oh, great. I still didn't get out of having to go up in front of, their school. And, well, we're standing up, and they call, fourth runner-up. They call third runner-up. Melinda gets third runner-up. And I'm like, well, good. I didn't really have to go up. So, perfect. I didn't think I could fill 5 minutes. All right. So pretty much the conclusion of this was they kept calling the different people. They called second runner-up, a different girl got it. They called first runner-up. The date that Kyle originally took there got first runner-up. So here, now I get a chance to take her up to get second place, first runner-up. And the good intentions was I had the good intentions on taking Melinda the first time, and then I was filling in for Kyle when he bailed on the second girl. Well, then the part of the story that I think is great, here I am a freshman, I go back to school and say, I got a chance to take one girl that was on homecoming court, ended up with a second girl that was on homecoming court, and we moved up the ranks.